How's everybody doing this morning?
Thank you.
Good. I'll start by passing this out. I guess the proper term would be passing it around. We're nobody's going to pass out, but everybody knows how this works. Start with that. The room is really lopsided. We got more people over here. That's fine. The feng shui, I guess we could say. Come up here if you like, if you want to. There's room up here. We didn't get started yet, so. Last week we'll do a little bit of I'd kind of like to do an overview of everything that we've been doing a little bit. This is week 5, right? 5 out of 8. Goes by fast. It does for me anyway, because I enjoy this more than anything. I'd like to have everybody kind of just do their own personal introductions again, except for, I think last week we talked about how you heard about the course, and we were just real short, with our responses, and that's fine, just our name. But it gives everybody an opportunity to hear everybody's name. Just the first name is fine. But I'd like to have everybody mention where they, if they're living in Arizona, where they lived before they came to Arizona. And there's usually like 1 out of 100 that are natives. It's always interesting to talk to the natives. But if we just want to go around, we'll start with the chair people. So if you just want the chair, if you just want to say your name and where you lived before you moved to Arizona. East Coasters.
Margaret, California, the Bay Area.
My name is Thomas. I'm a native of Nebraska, but lived a lot of points in between Seattle, Portland, Chicago, Las Vegas, and a little Atlanta just before here.
So where was it right before here?
Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta, Georgia. You lost your accent.
I was yawling when I
Oh, really?
left.
You have to try to fit in. We'll come up here.
I'm Gabriela, and I'm from Mexico City, but I've been living in the States for 14 years here in Arizona, and I was for a little bit in Indiana. So.
I'm Andrew, and I'm a native.
A native. He's one of the natives. So if anybody needs any questions or anything about the...
Mostly I was raised in Phoenix, and then we moved out here to Gilbert, Jhana.
Oh. That's pretty unique. You saw a lot of changes here then.
I went away for a couple years to Portland and come back. It's just night and day already. So.
Yeah, amazing.
I remember growing down dirt roads to get to school. So.
Yeah, my neighbor said that Alma School used to be dirt. I go, no, but of course they all used to be dirt.
So the 60 used to only go as far as the country club. So.
Yeah, it's incredible.
My name is Jhana, and I moved to Arizona in 1972 when I worked in Chandler. I lived in Tempe, and I was late to work a lot of days because the sheep were in the car, in the road bumping into my car, and I couldn't go anyway.
Yeah. Where did you? You're not a. Are you not a native though?
I'm in Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school in Wichita.
Did you really?
At the university. Yeah.
So did
Pardon me?
I. So did I. I went to Wichita State.
Yeah. When I was there, they had the worst football team ever.
They have none now.
Good, good.
Well, they crashed in a mountain and died, so that's not really good.
Uh,
But basketball's doing great this year.
I heard that, yeah, yeah. That's everybody? Thank you. Yeah, Wichita State had they had a football team that they didn't win a game, an entire game. It was just really good, good.
I'm Gina, and I'm originally from the Panhandle of Oklahoma. I've been here in Arizona for 20 plus years.
I'm Melissa, and I'm from Pennsylvania also. I've been here longer though than I lived in Pennsylvania, so I'm almost a native now.
Yeah, yeah, it feels like it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Jim, I'm out in Chandler, originally from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Ann Arbor.
I'm Shay, and I'm also a native.
No. Okay, well, congratulations. Do you two know each other then? I mean, we could go back here.
Brent from Detroit.
Detroit. Oh, okay, that's good.
I'm John. I've been here since I was 2, so not quite a native. I'm
Almost.
not exactly sure where we were immediately before, because I was 2 at the time. It might have been Canada, might have been California. I don't remember.
Yeah, you should call yourself a native. It's a lot easier that way. Yeah. But your birth certificate was from
Santa Barbara, California.
Santa Barbara? Oh, I see. Okay, that's cool.
My name is Jack, and I'm originally born and brought up in Syracuse, New York, #1 basketball team in the country. And we moved out here in '87, south of Tucson in Green Valley,
Mm.
and we moved back up, went up to Oregon, and decided the rain wasn't our thing, and came back down here, and been here since.
Oh, great. Okay.
I'm Erica, I'm a native.
Really? All right, Erica.
I'm Shannon, and I moved here from North Carolina.
From what?
North Carolina.
North Carolina?
I'm Keisha, originally from California. Excuse me, moved around a bit, but before Arizona, I lived in Utah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I'm Elena, I'm from New York, originally from Russia.
Yeah. Elena's visiting today. She's going to remind me. She's here to do one of the reasons she's here in Phoenix is she's doing a collage workshop, and which is kind of, maybe you can mention that before we leave here today. That's next Saturday, actually, at noon, right? It starts at noon. So.
Yes, I can briefly, say it now. We do a lot of practices, and but we kind of overlook the art of intention, the art of actually manifestation in life. So that's what we're gonna do next Saturday. We gather for half a day from 12 to 6 with some tea breaks, and it will give us time to figure out what we really want in life, actually for this year, maybe for half a year, for whatever period of time we want to work on what we really want, and if there is some fears about it, about new to come to our life, we work with fears, and then we do some fun stuff. We gather images and put it on a paper, and those images is actually a representation of what we really want, in spite of fears or doubt, and we'll do this collage of our inner wish, which, if done properly, can manifest in life in a very quick way. So it's very interesting to have this intention, to look at the intention, and to put it in a visual form. So it's next Saturday from 12 to 6.
12 to 6, yeah. I'll, in the email that I'll send out, I'll put something in there to remind you.
Also,
See if
we as adults, we kind of like forget about art, forget about creativity, forget about um, some motoric action with our hands, and this will be kind of combining the mind with the body in a visual form. So I think it will be very interesting for us
Yeah.
as adults to do this kind of half adult and half children work.
It's kind of an adult spiritual playtime sort of thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it will be fun.
Yeah.
I was coming here doing a lot of mind workshops, and this time I think we'll do some fun, some mind.
Some mind.
It's actually serious stuff, but it's brought in this playful form.
Yeah, it seems like people learn in different ways and people interact in the world in different ways. And some people are more kinesthetic, some people are more mental, some people work with music, some people work with numbers. And this gives kind of an opportunity to kind of a hands-on thing where some people can't express in words what they can express through art, you know, through pictures, and just kind of doing a workshop this way is really pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, it will be guided meditations actually to go and see what we really want, because sometimes we just unaware, not clear, so much in the head. So we'll do guided meditations, and we'll get clear on what we want before we put it on the paper.
Thank you. Yeah. So Elena she flew in from New York City last night to do this. And who's this gentleman behind?
My friend.
Chris, you know, when Elaine was speaking, because some people can express through dance and things, so this is interesting, and I've never been any good at expressing through dance. I have too many inhibitions.
Next time we'll do the dance.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's no problem.
My birth certificate says St. Louis, Missouri on it,
Oh.
so that's where I was born. But just prior to coming here, I was in North Carolina, the Raleigh-Durham area. But most of my young life was spent in Gulf Coast, Mississippi. And then most of my adult life was in upstate New York, Albany, New York.
Kind of a mixture there.
Yeah, I'm pretty old.
Yeah.
From the Midwest, town called Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Sure. Cedar Rapids, yeah. And I'm Shane from, I lived in Wisconsin before I moved here. About, I don't know, 14 years ago now. And, but I was born and raised in South Dakota. And born in Minnehaha County, at Minnehaha Hospital, which is Lakota for laughing water, Minnehaha. So there you go. But I'm, so I came out here like a lot of us. I came out here to visit my father, who was a snowbird, and I would come out and visit, you know, in February when it was really bitterly unpleasant in Wisconsin. And then I'd come out and stay. I'll just come out for the weekend, and then I'll come out for 4 days. I'll come out for the week, and then pretty soon I was coming out for a couple of weeks. And then I thought, I'll probably retire out there myself anyway, like everybody else is doing, so I might as well just make the move, you know. And that was in around year 2000. And then right after that, I started the Meditation Learning Center out of my home. Many of you are familiar with that. Then I came here and started teaching about 5 years ago, kind of two miles from where I live, so it was real convenient. So thank you everybody for doing your personal intros. It's always interesting to see where everybody's from. You know, we're here for the same reason, basically to learn about meditation, but probably to learn about ourselves more than anything else, and that's what meditation's all about. I kind of wanted to do a little review of the practice and why we practice, and I think it's pretty clear in the book here the reason why we're doing this practice is it's to see what is called the three worldly conditions, right? And when we think of the three worldly conditions, the very first one, and usually it comes up to us as a form of an insight, it's just a real clear understanding that everything is not very solid. It's not real substantial. It's just kind of flowing. And in the terminology, the word is impermanence that is used in the book. And we understand that at one level, but when we really, really look at it with deep, penetrating concentration and just focus on that and just really get to the root and the whole meaning behind that, it becomes very, very powerful in our life, and it just opens up a whole new avenue for us as far as what we've been striving for, and what we've been trying to do with our lives, try to take all these impermanent things and make them very, very substantial for us. And that doesn't mean that this meaning of impermanence should diminish anything. It should add more to our lives and be more substantial for ourselves. Because it just means that everything that we've been trying to gather up to provide this lasting happiness isn't going to work. And so it's like taking that backpack off, or just like taking that load off our shoulders. Now we can, through this realization, now we can enjoy life, basically. Just like, finally, I don't have to do that struggle, I don't have to struggle for all this. And it's just through that realization that everything is constantly flowing, just the way it's supposed to be. It's just, everything is happening exactly the way it's supposed to be. We don't have to struggle to try to change things, because they're changing anyway. And as I say these words, I know each one of you are saying, yeah, I know that's true, I know that. But the reason we get into this deep, deep concentration, or any kind of concentration in our practice, is to understand this at a different level. So when we understand the meaning behind impermanence, we understand that where our any kind of suffering or stress actually comes from. And we also understand that there's nothing to grasp onto. Everything is simply borrowed in our life. So this I-ness and this me-ness and this selfing that we do to hang on to these things and call it mine isn't necessarily true, is it? It's just borrowed, including the body. Everything is just borrowed, and that leads to a lot of liberation for us too, a lot of freedom, and a lot of rejoicing, which is a word that I don't use very much, but this rejoicing because everything is such a gift for us. It's a gift that we can use. Everything, like even this room. This room is only a few weeks old, but when we project into the future, we know it's going to completely change. It'll probably deteriorate. Maybe it won't be here, in 50 years. Maybe less time than that. Maybe somebody will change this into something completely different, But in the meantime, we can use it, we can feel free to, just to be able to use it the way we want to, but it's like that with everything. And while we're here, let's enjoy life and let's use it the way we want to. Let's borrow and be free and enjoy it. So the three worldly factors, or the three worldly conditions, are impermanence. In a nutshell, impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Impermanence, that everything is flowing. Suffering, in that we realize that we can't hang on to anything that's going to provide lasting happiness. And then non-self is that there's nobody actually nobody here that can grasp on and hang on to these things. And it's a big part of our practice, and that's why we're here. The concentration, as opposed to other forms of meditation, is interesting. You generally, and I know that a lot of us have done a lot of meditation in the past, and some of us might be fairly new, which is wonderful. If you ever heard of the book Beginner's Mind, the Zen book by Suzuki, that's a classic. And he's a Zen monk that came into the United States in the mid-50s, and he loved the Western mind because all these people were very inquisitive about meditation and about spiritual understanding as far as what meditation was all about and everything. So the book was called Beginner's Mind, and he just loved the Western beginner's mind. So if you're fairly new into meditation, that's great. But if you've been meditating for a while, you probably have been doing something more like mindfulness meditation, or what is called vipassana, or insight meditation, where you're focusing on some aspect of body or feelings, maybe states, or just kind of seeing everything flow in and out without any kind of judgment or decision or commentary, that kind of thing. But concentration there's a big part of that in concentration, but when we talk about concentration meditation, and if you go out into the world and you talk to your friends about meditation, they'll likely say, I've never done just concentration meditation. I hear that a lot myself. And have any of you tried just concentration meditation before coming to this course?
I think I did, but I thought that's what I was working towards.
Okay, yeah, that's a good answer because, and that could be true. The reason I bring that up is because the importance of knowing when concentration has kicked in, the kind of concentration that we're looking at. Because concentration can be very, very broad, like I've talked about in the past. We can concentrate on a subject, or concentrate on a kind of focus on a general topic kind of thing. We can be kind of connected with a certain feeling in the body, or a state, like a mood that we have, a sensation like even a pain in the body, and concentrate on that. Or somebody might say, bring your attention to the breath, and which is like the very first initiating thing that happens. So in breath meditation, when somebody says breath meditation, we bring our attention to the breath, but it's usually not very general. It's usually maybe the feeling, some sensation in this area, maybe the rising and falling of the abdomen, or the whole breathing process. And then we sit with that, and we feel the breath. The mind wanders off into a thought. We acknowledge that thought, and then we bring our attention back. And then we do that again and again. That's usually the typical instructions in meditation. And it's a very, very good practice, right? And that's what we should be doing generally. Here, we're getting into a little bit more substantial, a little deeper practice, if you will, of knowing when our attention is exactly on our object and when it's off, and not really caring about very much else. Because what will these understandings of these three worldly conditions will be pointed out on their own. We don't have to cognize or think about any of it. It'll be shown to us in the form of insights and just a form of our reflection on what happened in our meditation after the meditation. So any kind of thinking or any kind of what I call cognition, in other words, the kind of thinking that we want to do where it's related to words is not needed in this practice, particularly when we get into the next chapter, chapter 11, which is the second and third jhana. So this thinking that we do, and when it's related to words, it can point us to things such as our posture, how we should be sitting, how we relate to the material world. Because whenever we see something, window, person, door, color, ceiling, we're putting words on it. When we're looking at thinking in terms of the concentration that we're dealing with, that isn't needed. It's not even a part of it. The Buddha talked about worldly things and unworldly things, worldly conditions and unworldly conditions, and what we're really starting to look at now is the unworldly. So it's this apparatus without any words tied to it, if you can imagine that. And that's kind of the reason I chuckle about that is because usually our imagination is tied to words, right? So it's really, when we're concentrated to the level that we're talking about, it's knowing that this thinking process, especially with the words, with the cognition with the words, is there or not. And when it's not there, what comes up is joy. So this, and which is really our true nature. You've heard me say that before. Hopefully you have. Hopefully you caught that. But our true nature, without any of the worldly garbage, is happy, is blissful. And when we can sit in concentration, the body, if there's any discomfort in the body, if there's any discomfort of mind, such as the thoughts, the things that we do to ourselves, it is not there. So our object, our object of breathing and this stuff here is absorbed. It's tied together, and really what happens is the world falls away for us. And then we come out of this jhana and we basically review it. We review what happened. And in that reviewing is the understanding of the three worldly conditions that I just mentioned. And what jhana we were in, and how concentrated we were, and all of this stuff. So we'll do a couple of meditations here. Right now I want to remind us of how we should be meditating. And if you're not doing this kind of practice at home, just kind of do a self check. So first of all, we should set the intention, right? Our intention for like how long we want to meditate. So we're talking about formal meditation. This is our formal practice. We're sitting in meditation. We should set the intention and what kind of meditation we're doing, what we're really trying to do with our concentration. We're trying to get into these jhana states, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that. But So we focus on the breath. We talked about the knowing where the top of the breath is when we breathe in, where the bottom of the breath is when we breathe out. You know, just much like this. We could see it like that. We might feel it like that. You know, sensualize it or visualize it. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then realizing that even that gap in between there is enough for us to lose the attention. So bring our attention to the middle of the breath as well. And then after a while, that all of that movement might be too much activity, because everything becomes very, very simple and very, very mundane, you know, including the thoughts diminish, the body pretty much disappears, and then the idea of thinking about this, and this becomes too much. So we can refine it just to the middle of the breath, just finding the middle of the breath. Just touching that middle of the breath with the awareness. When it's not there, then we're not concentrated. So there's an indicator right there whether we're concentrated or not. But first we do metta, right? So I will take us through the metta like I've done in the past. So please make yourself comfortable. Just do a kind of a check-in first, and this is a part of the setting the intention. See how your body is. Is the back fairly straight, chin lifted? Ask yourself how you feel this morning. And be thankful and give yourself a kind of a proverbial pat on the back for being here and for doing this practice with us. And just think in terms of these words and try to let this metta meditation penetrate what it's supposed to. Don't think of it in terms of being repetitious or anything. Just take each stage of it and try to allow the heart to open when you hear the words. We always start with ourselves. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no difficulties come to me, and may I meet with spiritual success. May I have patience, courage, and understanding to meet and overcome any difficulties or problems that I might face. May my parents, my mother and father, be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them, whether they are alive or deceased. May they have spiritual success. And may they overcome any problems or difficulties that they may face. And may my teachers be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they have spiritual success, and may they overcome any problems or difficulties that they might face in life. May all my relatives, brothers, sisters, cousins, may they be well, happy, and peaceful. May no difficulties come to them. And may they have spiritual success. And may they overcome any problems or difficulties that they might face throughout this life. And may my friends, all the people that I come into contact with, whether they're casual friends or very close personal friends, may they be happy and peaceful. May they meet with spiritual success, and may they have no difficulties or overcome any difficulties that they might face in this life. And may all people be well, happy, and peaceful. May they be happy in their spiritual journey. May they overcome any problems or difficulties that they may face in life. And may all unfriendly people, or people that are indifferent with my opinions, people that I might consider enemies even, may they be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they meet with success. And may they have patience, courage, and understanding to meet and overcome any problems that they might face. And may all beings, whether they have 2 legs or 4 legs, or whether they live in the water or fly in the sky or crawl on the ground, whatever these beings are, including our pets, may they be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. And may they meet with spiritual success and be happy. Now the invitation is to bring your attention not only to the breath, but the finest point possible in the breath. And that might mean initially the top of the inhalation and the bottom of the exhalation, and then find the middle. And if you feel very concentrated in that area, maybe try just going right to the middle of the breath. It might be a visual thing, it might be just a feeling that you have, where it's at, where it's located. But see these things as a sign that you are concentrated. And know that when the mind is wandering off, particularly in the form of words, identifying, fixing, looking into the past or future, that this isn't a part of the practice at this moment. But to rest your attention on this sign, this place. And try to find the middle of the breath and see if you can stay with it.